So Gypsy Rose Blanchard has been released 2 weeks, you guys. She was released December 28th, 2023, after she served 85% of her 10-year prison sentence. A sentence she received after being convicted of plotting the unaliving of her very own mother, Diddy Blanchard. Due to the nature of the case and the crime that Gypsy committed, the thought of Gypsy having children herself, what type of parent she will be, how she will explain to her children or her child why mommy's mom isn't around, is definitely something that piques my curiosity. Like, how will Gypsy tell her children that their grandmother isn't around, not only because she's dead, but she's dead because Gypsy, their mother, ordered the unaliving of her? Like, how do you explain that? And because Gypsy did have a terrible childhood, so much so that she thought murder was the only way to escape, what kind of parent will Gypsy be herself? Will she be too lenient because of the tight grip her own mother had on her? Since Gypsy's release, I've seen a lot of people say that Gypsy is her mother's daughter. Some believe that Gypsy is a con herself. I mean, Gypsy has admitted to lying. She has talked about how she learned to lie and steal from her mother. She says she lied to her now husband, Ryan. She's lied to her stepmother, Christy. So does Gypsy have concerns that she could potentially be like her mom? Since Gypsy's release, she has done several interviews. She recently appeared on a podcast called the Viall Files. Now, this is one of the best interviews that I have seen yet. They talk to Gypsy for a bit, and then they bring out her husband, Ryan, and they complete the interview with Gypsy and her husband. Nick asked some pretty interesting questions, some questions that, like I said, piqued my curiosity. He asked her if she's interested in having children, and if so, what type of parent will she be? Now, Gypsy has expressed in prior interviews that she does plan to have children, but she hasn't talked much about what type of parent she will be. So I am going to play a clip from the Viall Files of Gypsy responding to this question. Nick does say, though, he's like, listen, you've been through a lot. Obviously, the abuse that you went through at the hands of your own parent. What type of parent do you think you will be?
So I think my approach is going to be, I don't want to shelter them too much. Mm-hmm. I don't want to over shelter them because that's what my mom did to me. I want to take lessons from my stepmom. I like the way she parents. She's no sugarcoating shit. She just puts it all on the line and, lets us make mistakes. She parents each kid the same. She loves us all the same. She's more of a, listen, I'll let you do what you want. And if it falls apart, I'll be there to pick up the pieces after. That's the kind of parent that I want to be. I think Ryan is a big teddy bear and he will cave into every request.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's how I think Nick will be.
I think I don't want to spoil our kids. I want them to have things they want and need. Mm-hmm. I don't want to overspoil a kid because when you overspoil a kid, it causes bad things to have, and they become entitled. I don't want to do that. Gypsy thinks I'm going to spoil them rotten. Well, I mean, like if they deserve it, maybe
you'll find that balance.
Yeah, I'm going to find that balance. I think Gypsy's going to be a great parent. Obviously, I wouldn't have married her if I didn't think so. Just she's sweet and innocent and beautiful, and it's one of those where she's going to be great. She's going to be a great nurturer.
All right, as you guys can see, Gypsy talks about not wanting to shelter her kids too much, but instead kind of give them the freedom to make their choices. And if they do fall, just kind of be there to pick them up, which is completely opposite of her mother. According to The Act, the movie based off Gypsy's life, Diddy Blanchard would not even let Gypsy jump on a trampoline out of fear that Gypsy could get hurt. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know that Diddy was pretty extreme, right? It seems like Gypsy at least understands that she can't protect her kids from everything, and being too restrictive the way that her mother was would only push the child away. So she doesn't plan on doing that. Now, Ryan talks about spoiling the kids, saying that he will spoil them, but only if they deserve it. He also talks about how he's not going to lie to their children, which is also something that I wondered. Would they be absolutely upfront with their kids about what happened with Gypsy and her mother and the role that Gypsy had in her mother's death? Now, after Ryan makes that comment about not wanting to lie to his children, Nick does ask Gypsy, how does she plan to tell her kids what happened to her mother?
Do you worry about how you will tell your children about what happened to their grandmother?
Do you worry about that all? Having to have that conversation with your children?
Of course, I'm dreading it. I know it's going to happen someday.
But we're going to be open and honest.
Yeah. I mean, not right off the flip, as a young child,
Sure.
we're not going to tell our 3-year-old, oh, your mommy did this.
Not.
But, when they're old enough to really start grasping the concept, I think until then, when they ask, why is grandma on your side not around? Someday they're going to find out about it.
Sure.
And so I want to wait
Google
for that
you, yeah.
moment to where they can grasp the concept and understand and not like resent me for it or anything.
They won't.
So it's something that I have thought about. What I am afraid of is the content that is online. Unfortunately, there has been so much out there that I can't take that back. So I can't protect them from the knowledge that this happened, but all I can do is tell them in the appropriate time and explain to them my reasons.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you guys have an extreme story, but I think every parent nowadays, and we're expecting, I have to worry about content that, we're all recording stuff, I think with an unawareness of our kids seeing it someday. So obviously yours is very unique, but you won't be the only ones, and you're not alone in that space. So
Okay, so Gypsy obviously plans to tell her kids when they are old enough to understand. And as Ryan said, they will give them context as to why everything happened the way that it did. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm defending Dee Dee at all, because I'm not. But one thing that I do know is that, like, when I was a child, I didn't understand how much my mom loved me. You know what I'm saying? I just did not understand. And I don't think children can understand a mother's love until they become a mom themselves or a parent, right? That is something that I have thought about. Like, how is Gypsy going to feel when she has children about what she did to her own mom? And when she can finally understand, like, how moms feel about their children. And I'm not sitting here saying that Dee Dee loved Gypsy oh so much. I believe that she did. But like Gypsy says, I also believe that Dee Dee was not well mentally. It was so weird because Dee Dee would go, like, above and beyond to protect Gypsy from certain things, but then hurt her in other ways. So it is kind of weird. Also, one thing that Gypsy did talk about is the content that's out there about her. That's something that she's going to have a hard time protecting her child from. Like, how do you keep your child from Googling your name and seeing the things that are out there on the internet about you? But even more so is her child will have access to her interrogation videos.
And I want you to understand that you need to be honest with me. And if you're involved in anything that I'm about ready to tell you, then you need to tell me. Okay? Your mom's dead. Okay? Now, what I want to ask you is your mom's passed away. Okay? And she's deceased. All right? Now, what I want to ask you, did you have involvement in this? Okay? Hang on, listen to me for just a second, okay? What happened with your mom that night?
I don't know what happened with my mom.
Okay, just listen to me, okay, sweetheart? You know what happened to your mom, okay? You know exactly. Sweetheart, listen to me. Let's not go down that road. So I want to know, okay, why? Why did you guys hurt your mom? Okay.
We never.
Sweetheart, look at me. What do you think is going to happen if you go down that path? It's not a path to go down.
If anything, I don't tell lies.
Okay. Then don't sit here and lie to me, because if you do, what's going to happen is it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
I would never hurt my mom.
Okay, sweetheart. Do you really want to dig yourself? You're digging yourself deeper. Okay?
No, seriously, I would never hurt her.
Listen to me. Okay. I don't play around with that, okay? I'm not gonna play around with this, okay?
I didn't do anything.
Listen to me.
I mean, they will be able to get on YouTube and Google the trial. They will be able to watch their mom being interrogated and their mom sitting there saying, what, my mom's dead? No, I love my mom. And they will see their mom sitting there blatantly lying about being involved in this crime while knowing that she was. So I could definitely understand Gypsy having concerns about what's out there that her children can consume when they get older. It's not just like Gypsy gets the opportunity to tell her kids about what happened and that's what it is. They're only going to hear from her. No, they're going to have all the information at their fingertips. So yeah, I will say, you guys, the Viall interview was probably one of the more interesting ones that I watched. Several things that they touched on in this interview that I just found very interesting. So I'm going to link the full video below, and I have several more videos coming with little things that I picked up on this interview that I want to discuss. I will be doing a live in the next few days about Gypsy Rose Blanchard on this channel, so make sure you are subscribed to this channel if you want to join me for that. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.